Trigger torch. Had to use these often in my previous profession, and a lot of times they'd stop striking. They wouldn't strike anymore. As opposed to taking the time to take them apart and fix them, these were just a throwaway device. They got thrown in the trash can. I said, well, heck with that. I'm going to save the broken ones, and maybe one day I'll see about fixing them, see if they still work. Well, I did it with this one. What it is there's a striker that rests under the trigger right here. There's a little piece of wire coming from it. And there's a spring that comes right up through here that feeds to this thing. And then there's a wire inside of this, a number 10 gauge wire that shoots all the way up through here, and it's held up by the tip. Now, to replace this wire, what it does, or what this particular one that I had to fix does, is right where this 90 is made right here, the insulation on the wire breaks down, and when you shoot the trigger, it's just going to ground right here. It's not going all the way up to the tube like it should. What you do is take the nozzle off, and you can see the wire at the end right there. You can shoot the trigger, and if you're not getting anything, it may be that wire has gone to ground right here. You have to replace this wire. What you're going to need is a knife to skin the wire with, a couple of Q-tips, some needle nose pliers, a 1/8 inch hex key, and a piece of number 10 wire about a foot long, and strip off about 3/4 of an inch of the insulation of this your piece of new wire. Some electrical tape. Take your hex wrench. This is the nut you want to undo, this hex nut right here. It's above the valve body. Put your hex screw in there. Undo it. Make sure you don't lose it. They're easy to lose. Put it down safely. Slowly pull this off. There's a spring under here. It'll pop out if you're not careful, and if you're outside, it'll be easy to lose. Little spring right there. You set your head. Hold on a second. To test the striker to see if you're still getting any fire at all, you can take your hex key and take it about a 1/2 inch away from the spring and shoot it. If your trigger is still good, you'll get fire. I don't know if you can see this or not. So the trigger's still good. Then you can throw this aside. You know this is working. Just don't lose anything. Then we're going to be working on this. What it is this wire. Just a continual piece of wire goes all the way through here. But inside the tip down here, it's held with a clip inside. You don't want to cut the wire at all. Just when it comes time to pull it off, you pull on the clip itself with the needle nose. Get down in there good. You'll be able to see the clip on yours. And it's got this little brass tip right here on this end that you got to pull off. All that does is hold that wire. That wire is split in two and put over this plastic insulating cap. All that brass tip does is just hold it there. Then you want to take your wire and try to save all the strands. Don't break any of them, because you're going to need these strands to pull your new piece of wire in with. Put my glasses on. Pull that wire back, make it into a solid piece of wire again like this, and pull your plastic cap off. Set it down next to your brass keeper. You take your new wire, overlap it over the old wire, and double them back on themselves. Creating the joint to pull your new wire in. You take your electrical tape, put it over that joint so to hold them together while you're doing the pulling, and wrap it as tightly as possible, but don't put too many wraps around it, because you're going to have to be pulling it through this tube. Just make a wrap or two, cut it off, and make this as tight as possible so it can go through this little hole. Lubricate this, your new piece of wire, and the tape right here. I just use spit to do it with, to make the pulling easier through here. Once you get them pushed together, take your needle nose and start shoving it in here. At the same time, go to the other end and grab that clip, and turning it counterclockwise, pull on that clip. And go back down here again, push the wire, pull the clip a little bit more. Eventually you'll get that wire through there, and it'll stop here. Get something else. I'll use a chopstick like this and shove the wire to make this corner right here. Shove the wire a little bit here, and take your needle nose and shove the wire up a little bit more here. Eventually it'll come through there and it'll start pushing easy, and you can push it all the way up through the end. The original piece of wire, it's on this clip up here. Once you pull it out, don't snip it off right next to the clip. Leave about 3/4 of an inch on the back side. What you're going to do is you're going to wrap that around your new wire to isolate it, so it'll stay in the right position when you get done. After you get your new wire pull through there, put it back, put the clip back inside, and leave it about flush. Leave the new wire about flush with this end right here. And you take your after you get it in there, you're going to have about an inch of wire exposed this way, and cut about 3/8 of an inch. Strip the insulation off about 3/8 of an inch right here. You go back, you put your little plastic cap on your new wire, put it back up in there, take a knife and split the conductors inside this piece of 10 gauge wires. Pull half of them on that one side and half on the other side, and take your little brass keeper right there and push them back down. Take your hex nut, put it on your wrench, done it properly, you should be getting a little spark at the end. See this or not. Screw it back on the propane bottle, and you're back in business, and you've saved about 50, 60 bucks. Good luck.